Owning the Maserati GranCabrio Trofeo is not for the meek. I just had this car for 3 days, and this is the second day, and I've already had countless amount of people come up to me asking questions about the car. They want to race the car. They want to know what I do to afford this car. Sadly, I can't at the moment, but I do know some things that you can do, but I'll get to that story in just a moment. So with the starting price of $203,000 for this version without any options, and this one is optioned out to about $125,000, we have things such as a carbon fiber spoiler, the ADAS system, which is the advanced pedestrian things, lane keep assist, and we also have this blue paint, blue Medina. It's about $4,900, and we even had to pay $2,000 for a head-up display, the updated audio system in here, the Sony's Faber, which I'll give my thoughts on in just a moment here. But if you're an introvert, be prepared for everybody that's going to come up to you. But if you're an extrovert, you will love this thing. Maserati, who used to be known for their V8s, now comes with the twin turbo V6 3-liter cranking out 542 horsepower, 650 newton meters of torque. What is that? They also come with all-wheel drive and are mated to a ZF transmission. This GranCabrio has a bunch of flair to it. Front end looks beautiful. Coming around to the side, we have 20s in the front and 21s in the rear. Low profile tire. You know it's a Trofeo once you see this chrome lettering with the red background on it. That's going to bump up the power. But I believe the Trofeo is the only way you can get the GranCabrio. And looking at the brakes, we got the drill rotors, huge brakes, squeaky brakes. And then the suspension is air, so it can raise and lower depending on what mode you're in. When you're in the most aggressive mode, it's going to lower down for aerodynamics. The fuel economy, I'm averaging a surprising 19 miles per gallon. I haven't been all that easy on it. So that's better than my Blackwing, which is crazy to me. And in the rear we have the quad exhaust down low, different diffuser. And as I mentioned before, this carbon fiber wing. Looking into the trunk might be a huge disappointment because it's not much of a trunk. This is the most shallow trunk I've seen in any and all vehicles, even less than my Miata. I had trouble lowering the top at one point, but that's because this bar, when the top is up, this can flip under so you can have more storage. The top won't let down, but I fit like 4 little grocery bags back here. That was it. The rear seats, not hard to get into. Let's see what it's like back there. The back seat is actually just as comfortable as the front. Nice bolstering in the seats, nice soft touch leather, got a speaker in the middle, cup holders down here as well with one vent, so whoever gonna fight over that, that's gonna be a harsh one. And then we got speakers in the door. And once I bring the seat back, I do have the room. Might compromise my driving position, but before my knees get crushed, let me stop it. But I could fit back here, probably behind myself, but I ain't got nobody to stop the seat from crushing my knees. The front seat is going to add more elegance. Like the back seat, we have our 3-pointed trident or the Maserati emblem up in the headrest. Nice chevron looking signs coming all the way down. Nice bolstering up in here too. Gran Turismo or race car? I'm going to get to that in a moment. The doors, soft touch leather everywhere, stitching everywhere. Even up in the dash, they're letting you know you got the GranCabrio. To turn it on, blue button on the steering wheel, brake pedal. And it's going to revert to the GT mode. Then if you want to know what all your modes do, the infotainment screen is going to show you everything. And it even has stats in here. It's going to have, in comfort mode, the most efficiency and electronic controls are on. Acceleration is going to be down. And the further you go up, the more extreme and less efficient it's going to be. With GT, that's the default setting. Sport cranks it up a little bit more. And then when you get to Corsa over here, that's when the magic happens. It's going to disable ESC and traction control. And to let the top down here, we got everything that's touchscreen minus the gear selector, which is hidden up in the middle right there. To let the top up or down, this, and we slide it. So to let it up, I'm going to slide it to the left. The magic starts happening. It's going to take about 14 seconds, but I know y'all don't want to see that at this moment, so let me let it on back down. And even with the top up, we have great visibility out of here because we don't have a B-pillar. We just have glass connecting the front and the rear windows. Behind us in the seat, we got a neck warmer. So if we want to ride with the top down when it's cold out, and you guessed it, that's activated in this infotainment screen. The lower version, we press scarf, and we set it to 3 different levels to turn that heat on our neck. Even the glove box, boom. Then we do have these giant paddle shifters, which don't turn with the steering wheel. And the weight distribution is 51 in the front, 49 in the rear. That's very impressive for a car of this size. Normally front engine rear wheel drive cars are normally at 53% in the front and 47 in the rear. But this one, I guess they set that engine a little bit further back for weight balance. Good job. And this clock up here, you can customize it. You guessed it, through this screen down here. Press on clock. It can be a compass. We can put our G meter down there, the pedals. And I think it's cool because once you put the phone on the wireless charger down here, it's going to give you an alert on this clock to let you know, hey man, that phone charging. Good stuff. Center armrest, which is nicely bolstered. Got a USB-A, USB-C DC charger. If the key fob battery dies, you lay the key right here to start it up. Some engineering wizardry with the capacity of the key fob touching that point, so you don't need power in the key fob to turn it on. This cup holder, if you got like a Yeti mug or something, just a regular drink, you will need to remove this centerpiece, which with it in there is 2 cup holders, but can't fit a Yeti, a regular like 16-ounce Yeti in there. Then we have more storage up here. It's on this favorite system. I personally, because of my taste in music, I like loud, bass-heavy music with high fidelity. I would skip it just because with the top down and even with the windows up, it doesn't get very loud. Like I still hear a lot of the outside, which some cars you can drown out the outside by being able to turn the volume up just louder. Now we drive. Going to start off in comfort. Drive. Let's get on to test that turning radius. Start with the top or windows down. And I'll let the top up later on. For those of you that are serious considering what it's going to be like with the top up and top down, can't do that disservice to you. And even in this parking lot, this suspension is taut, like especially over like imperfect spots in the road, like just like manhole covers. I had a couple of those. I'm like, damn. And these are the roads I normally drive, but it hit really hard in this car, so you better be very careful, especially with these low profile tires on here. And this rear camera, the graphics on here are bad. It's like the refresh rate on here is terrible. Y'all not gonna be able to see through the camera on here or through my GoPro, but yeah, it's a refresh rate on here is pretty slow. Let's see if we can bang this over here, make our maneuver. Got that one. All right, turning radius ain't bad. So this is where I would normally get on up out of here, but got construction going on. Back at it. I guess I should just roll the windows up. So the back window is gonna go up first, then the front ones onto the road. Then we had 2 different modes for our shock absorbers. We press this button on the steering wheel, it'll go into sport mode, and it stiffens things up. And once you get that speed, you will see a arrow going down, which means it's about to go down. The car is lowering for a higher aerodynamics, which means to more grip. I'm about to get on these imperfect roads right here. Perfectly imperfect. Gotta watch how you scrape the ground too. That's the thing up in here. Like I said, visibility is awesome up in here. It's a big body, so it's very comfortable, mad comfortable. And if you haven't checked out my other video, please do. I drove it in the Corsa mode the whole time, and yeah, it made me think like, man, this might not even just be a Grand Tour. It could be an all-out track car, but it does both really well. All you got to do is turn that little dial right there. It goes over the bumps easily. It's just those certain imperfections. Let me put it in Corsa real quick so we can see how we launch. Don't turn everything off. Do manual mode too, but we'll do it later. Gets rowdy. Things will blow around up in here. So let me get on the highway, and we gonna dial that back to GT because we just cruising. That's what that would be like. And of course, we're gonna have the power to pass. So floor it. Does the greatest job hiding the speed. Like, I always have to look down at the speedometer. Do I have the head-up display turned off? I haven't seen it yet. Got to configure it through the system. It is an option on here though. Activate cruise control. It'll hold our line for us. Yes, it does. Let me pull up on somebody real quick. Somebody is pulling up on me. And it's going to do a good job keeping this distance. Everybody out here rolling today, man. Slow down, y'all. Alright, let me not try and keep up with everybody though. But it did a great job holding us in the line. But let us dial it up to my favorite mode, which is sport mode. It's going to open up the exhaust. Sorry if the wind noise is too much. I'm going to let the top down when I come up on this exit. Or top up. We do have some nice features in here like heated ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. Things that you should see in a car like this. This is so comfortable on the highway, man. I would love to own one of these. And back to the lady that was asking me what I did, I felt bad because I had nothing to give her. Like, I don't know how you come up from nothing. She was like, she just recently got divorced. She had 4 kids, just came out of a shelter, trying to get on her feet. She saw me in the Maserati. Like, what do you do? Are you a business owner? And then I didn't tell her what I did for a living, which is an engineer. So I really don't like telling people that, and I kind of chill with saying that on my videos. But I told her I'll just do YouTube. That's how I was able to get this car. And I told her, like, if you want to start up you a TikTok, do a TikTok shop. I know people that have become, they can get off the corporate plantation. They can just have a nice, comfortable life making 5 figures on TikTok shop. I forwarded her that information to that person that does courses. I'm like, that's all I got for you. Or you can get in real estate, but it takes money to make money, don't it? So I'm going to press the drive button so we can go into manual mode. I'm going to drop it from 7 to, let's go to 3. Good God. Brakes in here are strong. The downshifts are not as fast as I like. But this thing handles so well. Virtually flat. I don't even know what it weighs, but I know it's going to be on the heavier side since it is the GT, classified as a GT. Definitely a fun car to drive when you need it to be. But I'm going to let the top down when we get to around 50 kilometers, which is what I assume would be about 35 miles an hour, somewhere around there. So let me go ahead and press that button. Get on over. Like I said, man, it's so hard to pay attention to what speed you're doing. Got to use that head-up display. So once I get down to 30, I'm going to raise that top. Let's see. Slide this button so y'all can see what it's like in this top up glory. Come on, thing. Alright, we good. Just about. Alright, we good. Roll the windows up. So just in case you don't want the sun down, you don't see what it's like, turn them butt coolers on. Where they at? I don't know. Forgot. It'll revert back to the default menu there. Which mode do I want to be in? I want to do manual. So many things happen at once. I go down one more. Woo, this thing scoop. Yeah, boy. I know you're going to have the people that follow Dave Ramsey that's going to be like, man, cars are a waste of money. Man, shut the front door. Solid thud. Press this button to unlock it. Gotta let people buy what they want to buy. Don't be pocket watching. There's always going to be somebody out there that's going to buy something that you disagree with. Not everybody's out here to have the highest 401k. Some people are. It's not a bad thing. It's a matter of choice. Some people want to enjoy the time while they're here on this planet, which you never know when your time's going to be up. So live it up sometime. And then we also know that people are going to talk about the secondhand market price on that. I ain't going to get into that. But if the lady wanted one of those that I was talking about that was recently separated or divorced, one of these in the secondhand market might not be so bad. She could probably get one of these there. Just joking. But maybe, yeah, she actually good, because y'all know what it does. But that's what it's like driving this GranCabrio for 3 days. Whole lot of fun, whole lot of looks. Feel like $1 million, $250,000, but driving this is spectacular, and you can always run the price up on these. Because the other one, I drove the Gran Turismo. That's just the coupe version of this with the hard top. Well, it's not a hard top, it's just the coupe, no convertible. So that one, it had a $30,000 paint job on it. So this could easily, just with the base MSRP, throw on that paint job, that's $230K. And then throw on the $25,000 worth of, or $20,000 worth of extra accessories, you at $250. So you can get pricey up in there. So let me guys know what you think about the Maserati GranCabrio. I personally love it. Phenomenal car. Huge shout out to Maserati for loaning this to me for the 3 days. A weekender that I really enjoyed. So fun car. Everybody loves it. 18.6 miles per gallon, man. That is nothing to sneeze at right there. That should be studied. How they got that much horsepower being that efficient with me driving it the way that I have been driving it. So yeah, somebody needs to copy one of these engines. Sounds fantastic. It's got the speed 0 to 60 in like 3.6 seconds as an estimate by Maserati. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, browse the channel. Drive safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.